come to tell you tonight, be blessed. In fact, just three people around you, tell them, be blessed. Greetings, everyone. Greetings. Welcome to another episode 3 of Unlocking the Legacy. Unlocking your legacy. My name is Keith Robertson. I am your personal fin coach, and I am your host. Well, let me just greet you one more time. Hello, y'all. I really thank you for tuning in. Don't have any viewers yet, but I'm not going to let that stop me. I'm not going to let it stop me because it don't make a difference if there's 1 or 100. We're going to bring this information forward because it's needed at a time such as this. I see someone came on. Hey, whoever that is, how you doing? How you doing? My name is Keith Robertson. I am your personal fin coach. I know who you are out there. All right, Mr. Javion Robertson, how you doing, sir? I see you, brother. I see ya. All right. I want you to like, share, subscribe. If you haven't been here before, please share with someone else that's out there because this information is truly needed. Unlocking your legacy. Leaving something for your children's children. Do you love your family? Do you love your spouse? You know, because this is what this is about, right? This is about those that come behind us. You know, it doesn't make a difference if you're working and you're going from paycheck to paycheck or you have the bag. That's right. If you're making the money, it's okay. But the question is, do you know what to do with the money? Because truth be told, if you have been able to garner some wealth, right? And wealth, there's two types of wealth. It's the tangible kind, right? You have your properties, you have your investments, you have your cash, you have your cars, you have things that are tangible. That's a part of your legacy. But there is another part of your legacy, which is the intangible. Your thoughts, your philosophies of life, the stories and what you learned through this life, and with those words you want to leave for your children's children along with those assets. But the assets you just can't leave. You got to teach them what it is that they need to do with those assets. You need to put some things in place for them. Because if not, it's going to be like a lottery money. And we all have heard stories about people that have won the lottery and they won the money, but that money was gone. Could be millions of dollars. That money was gone in 3 to 5 years. Or yet individuals that have left houses, cars for their family, businesses, millions of dollars, hundreds of millions of dollars. 5 generations, that money's gone. When you look at the Rockefellers compared to the Vanderbilts, you know, Rockefellers, they still are. They pay hundreds of millions of dollars for the individuals that actually manage their trusts and their estates. Hundreds of millions of dollars for those individuals. Because John D. Rockefeller, he left a mandate, keep all the money together. That is what his mandate was, keep the money together. But then you had the Vanderbilts, which were the socialites, you know, building houses all over the world, these big, huge mansions, going to all the parties, having all the parties. Where is that wealth now? That wealth is gone. And so we're going to talk about a few things tonight, right? We talk about unlocking that legacy. But the first thing we're going to talk about is this. Let me ask you a question. Let me ask you a real question. What do you do when today is tomorrow and you've been praying for it yesterday? Can anybody get that question? What do you do when today is tomorrow and you've been praying for it yesterday? Because a lot of times we procrastinate. We're going to always get around to it. I'm 60, so a lot of things that I wanted to get around to that I have yet to do. But I'm determined to come here each week. I'm going to come here each week, 8 o'clock on Thursday. And I'm going to drop some of these seeds on y'all. I'm going to give you some words to live by, truly. Because tonight I'm going to talk about the process of creating that legacy. The process of getting that wealth. First of all, there's your mindset. The mind is the foundation of it all. If you don't have your mind process, if you don't have your mind where you're able to process what it is that you're doing, if you don't have the plan in place, utilizing your mind, your thoughts, because your thoughts become actions, and actions become characteristics of who you are. But everything starts with the thought. How do we create? As we are creators. There's nothing on this planet that we see, this microphone. Someone had a vision in their mind that, hey, I'm going to transfer my voice. And someone down the street, around the world, they're going to be able to hear me. First, it was a thought. You know, then there's Toolset, right? The tools that you use in this life. Now, those tools can be something that you get from academia. You've gone to school. You've gotten a certain level of knowledge from school. Or it could be something that you gain. Oh, I got somebody coming in. What's that? So it's a bunch of air? Oh, no, I didn't know that. Uh-oh, I was just told y'all got a bunch of air. Let me see what I can do to fix that. As I go into Toolset. Like I said, it could be something that you learn from academia or something you learn through life lessons, right? You out on the job. You have had a job and you were able to go out and learn something from job. Now I have my notes here because I don't want to get on a tangent and be up here 2 hours, right? I don't know what that noise is, y'all. I am sorry that you hear that noise. Let me see if I can let's see if I can enhance something here. Nope. Let's see. Am I able to do anything with that noise? I cannot. I'm not able to see anything right here. But in any case, hey, listen, we're just going to have to deal with it today. I mean, that's the only thing I can do is just keep it moving. Okay. Now, I've clicked a couple buttons and I've lost my screen. Let's see what I can do to bring that back. Well, I'm just going to go for it as it is in a moment here. Let's see. Oh, okay, hold on. I got microphone. Is there something I can do with this mic? I'm not seeing it. Is there anything that I can do? No, I can't. So we're just going to continue on the process, y'all. We're going to continue on this journey. And hopefully I'm doing things correctly. I'm trying to get it back. I may not be able to. Well, I'm gonna just have to keep going, y'all. So anyway, let's just go. I don't need to see y'all see me, right? I'm gonna go over here and I'm gonna go to my Facebook page just so I can make sure I'm not looking crazy in any shape, form, or fashion here. Let's see. All right, I'm gonna just keep going. It is what it is. So look, guys. So okay, we got mindset, tool set, right? You know, tools are something you get from academia. It could be, you know, a degree in whatever it is that you get. Or you could be out here in the workplace, you're out here studying, self-study, and you get a certain level of knowledge, right? You get a certain level of competence in a certain area. and you begin to obtain a tool, or you use those tools, and you go out and you begin to create money, you begin to create currency, right? And then there's skill set. See, now the skill set is where you actually have value, where you have value when you have skill set. Because what happens there is that people find you and know what it is that you're doing, right? You create value. Now you begin to create something, which is the last one that we're going to talk about. And that last one is assets. That's right. Uh-oh. All right, guys, I'm going to get rolling here in a second. Trying to get these things right. Still hoping to be able to pull this back up. Let's see. I don't know what I did to get me down there. All right. I'm sorry. I didn't bring my charger. Can you bring the charger for this computer? It's in the office. Now I got a low battery, y'all. Okay, so look. Here we go. So mindset, tool set, skill set, which leads to asset. The first thing is the mindset. See, because you have to have your mind prepared, right? You have to have your mind focused where you're able to excel. Because what happens is those thoughts come, and when you have your mind prepared properly, you're able to operate in that why. No, that's my charger. It's a big block. Yeah. I'm sorry. All right. So with your mindset. So Ralph Waldo Emerson said this. He said that you are going to decide this. Only you can decide who you will become. Only you can decide that. See, it's about having your mind in the right place, having your mind focused. Because if you're not being active, yes. Oh yeah, plug it in, fine. If you're not being proactive, then you're being reactive, right? So what we have to do is make sure that we have our mind in the right place. Only you can be the person that you're destined to be, regardless of anything you read, anything you see. You have to make a decision. Now, in this life, you have many choices. I'm not talking about choices. What I'm talking about is decisions. See, we're talking about that mindset. Have your mind focused. When I'm talking about unlocking a legacy, you have to make a decision to want to leave something behind for your family. Let me ask you this one more time. Now, I'll probably say it a couple times throughout the day. Do you love your family? Do you love your wife? If you were to, God forbid, that God take you home first, do you want her to have what she needs for her life? Do you love your children? Do you love your grandchildren? Do you want to leave an inheritance for your children's children? I would venture to say yes. Most of us are going to say yes to all those questions. But yet, in this life, we have to understand what it is that we do. We have to actually understand what is our why. What is our why? You have to have a why big enough to overcome your why not. We focus on things that we make giants out of molehills, right? We focus on these events and things that we have to do, and we let it rent space in our heads. And then once we actually engage in that event, we realize that, wow, it wasn't that bad. I'm coming up here. This is my third week with you guys, and I'm just determined. Regardless if I'm on a business trip, I got to pull over 8 o'clock. I'm gonna come drop you something because I feel it's that important. But when we look at that mindset and the decisions we have to make, we have to understand, what is your why? Now, I mentioned, do you love your family? And I mentioned your spouse, your children, your grandchildren, because those why nots will come. Anytime that you're trying to put something in place for the future, it's always something that comes and tries to rear its ugly head and get in front of that. You know, too many times we have altars set up, and what we'll wind up doing is we sacrifice what we want for what we want right now. You know, the microwave society, right? I want to get a car, so you go out and get a car, have a $600-700, $1,000 car payment. You know, when I'm pulling credit at times, I see some of these car payments, and I'm amazed at what people pay monthly for cars. It used to be house notes, $1,000, $1,200 for a car note. That's true. But you wanted a house, but now you bought this car. Now you gotta wait. I'm gonna show you some examples within this process, because you know this is about finances, right? It's about legacy. I'm going to show you some examples of some money here in a moment, but I need to get through this real quick because I feel like it's real important. You know, you have to make a decision. I'm gonna go back to that decision. See, when you make a choice, you can change your mind. How many times have you said, I'm gonna go to the gym? Your alarm goes off in the morning. I'm getting up early. Your alarm goes off 5 o'clock. Reach over and hit the snooze. See, that's a choice. You made a choice to go to the gym. You didn't make a decision to go to the gym. You made a choice. I'm going to read some books. I'm going to read X amount of books. You know, at the beginning of the year, we had the New Year resolutions. What you're going to do, I'm gonna diet. I'm gonna fast. I'm gonna read more books. I'm gonna learn a language. I'm gonna learn a musical instrument. But now we're in July. When you look back to your New Year's resolution, was it a choice or did you make a decision to do it? You know, a decision is something like when you get on an airplane. Once you sit on that plane, unless you want to get on the no-fly list, you're going to sit on that plane whether you got to sit there and bite your fingernails or just close your eyes and go to sleep until that plane gets to its destination and you get off safely. You know, this life and building the legacy is about making a decision. Because a lot of times that it's through the fire that you realize what you built out of. You understand? It's not when things are going well, it's when you're in the fire that you realize what you built out of. For myself personally, life was good at one point in time. Life is good now. I'm not saying life is bad now, but I remember when I had everything that I needed in life, everything that I wanted in life. There was nothing I couldn't do. Making $30, $40, $50 a month. Had my own mortgage company, loving life. That was cut off. That's right. Then I kept the company going out of my own pocket too long, and it ate away at my savings to the point that I lost the big house on the water. I lost the cars. You did? But it was at that time that I kept my head up. A lot of people didn't know what I was going through. And if you're listening to me now, you may be just finding out. But I lost all of that. But I kept my head up. Nobody knew that wasn't close to me. I couldn't get help from a lot of people that I'd helped through life and through hard situations. When it was time for me to reach out, I couldn't get no help. But it's okay though, as I look back now, because it was part of my journey. I remember this is funny here. I couldn't get a position and I got a job. And they were like, oh man, Keith, you're the best employee you ever had. I hated the job. I'm not going to say what it was. But I lost my car and I had to catch the bus. And so I had two choices. I was either going to be early to work or I was going to be late. So I was always early, guys. But I say that to say this. So during that time, right, I had to catch the bus. I had to walk to the bus each morning. As I walked to the bus, I got closer and closer with my Creator. I got closer and closer with God. That's all I wondering about my situation, where I've come from. And He began to show me some things. Now we're talking about decisions. I'm still on decisions, guys. I'm still on decisions. Because when you're going through those life situations, when you're in that fire, you can either run from it or run through it. And as you go through it, you realize this one thing, that you're walking closer and closer to your purpose. And look, don't get it twisted. Don't get it twisted, guys. Everybody has a purpose in life. Your purpose is your reason for existing. When you look at it by definition, your purpose is the reason that you exist today. Now, you may not know what it is yet. You may be walking in it. But during my time of getting my mind right to build the legacy for my family, I was given purpose. And I was given purpose as an acronym. And I'm going to give you this real quick. It started like this, that I realized that each and every one of us, even yet before we were born, we were given a gift. We were given a gift. And that gift was purpose. It was already here when you came through your mother's womb. Purpose was resting for you. And it's unfortunate that some people never get to that point in life where they are able to obtain their purpose, find themselves on their deathbed with all their hopes, their dreams, and ideas surrounding them. Sad, because they know that once that person dies, all those hopes, those dreams, those desires, those goals, those inventions, those businesses, they would die with him. But that P was the first thing that came to me. That P is for power. That power that's inside you right now. As you have desires in your life, you have things that you want to do. Those things that wake you early in the morning. Sometimes you're so restless you can't sleep. It wake you. That fire that's in your belly, some call it kundalini. That fire that's in you, that's the power. And that power is your faith. Back to the mindset, that faith, the substance of things, the hope for the evidence of things unseen. That faith, that mind that you know that, hey, I can get through this situation. That's that P, that power that's in you, that God is giving you. I don't care what the situation is. That you thought was insurmountable. And I'm going to show you that in a moment. But that P. Then there's a U, the understanding. Understanding that in this life, there's going to be ebbs and flows. We got 2 eyes, 2 nostrils, 2 hands, 2 ears. We're dualities. There's right, there's wrong. But our society now has moved away from that. And society looks towards what is the lesser evil. It's not right and wrong anymore. It's bad and worse. So a lot of people decide to do bad instead of worse. But see, this is where we come in, because as we create this legacy, as we get our minds right and understanding that we have to have a goal in mind, that we're going to change this for our family, because they're going to have options. Wealth gives the people behind you options in life. Yeah, okay. The love of money is the root of all evil. Yeah, okay. But it also says that money is the answer to all problems. The Creator wants us all to reach our purpose in this life. And so understanding that there's an ebb and flow, there's an in and out, there's ups, there's downs, but you got to keep moving forward. And that is why you have to have that why. And then there's the R for remembering. Because when you're in a storm, if you're in a situation right now, and you might not feel that you can get through it, just think back. Just think back. I'm sure there was another situation that you faced in life you thought was insurmountable, and you were able to get through it. Think back. You might not be able to think back this far, but I got a grandson right now that's learning how to tie his shoes. And it's a hard task. But you know he's going to master it, because we all know how to tie shoes, right? We had to learn how to walk. We had to learn how to talk, how to communicate. See, we came here with purpose, knowing how to do things, but we forgot as life began to influence us in different directions. But remembering those situations in which you faced before to help you get through where you are today. Remembering that I've made a choice. I'm making a choice. And know this to be true. Everything is in divine order. That's why you're here listening to me right now. And I prayerfully hope that you will like, share, and subscribe. I'm going to be here every week at 8 o'clock. Now, I'm going to get into the financing. We're going to talk about that. And I'm going to hurry up and get through this. But again, mindset, tool set, skill set, these are assets. You have to have your mind right. You have to be able to overcome the obstacles that you're going to be faced with. You have to get out of those ruts in which you're in. See, your mind has already been programmed, right? Something that you do every day. Your mind has been programmed. It's called neuro-linguistic pathways. Neuro-linguistic pathways. Neuro-linguistic pathways. I'm sorry. Your mind is like a channel. I know I pull up not too far from my house, and these homeless guys, they're there 8 hours every day, 7 days a week. To myself, I wonder why they're not working. But anyway, I noticed that they walk this path on the side of the road, and they walk this path so many times back and forth throughout the course of the day that they've actually worn the grass out. See, those are those thoughts that are in your head. Those are those things that you've learned thus far. See, when I get into talking about the different types of financial vehicles, it's going to challenge you. It's going to challenge you because a lot of these things you've never heard before. A lot of these things you don't understand that this information has been here over 200 plus years. That the wealthy has been operating within the constraints of what I'm going to share with you. There's a book called What Would the Rockefellers Do, where they talk about how to use a whole life policy that has cash value to structure it properly. Now, those things, most of the time when a person thinks about insurance, the only thing you think about is dying, the death benefit. Things of that nature. See, that is what they taught in our community, because we had the little guy walk around with the debit guy want to give you just some burial expense when you could have had a strategy put in place for retirement. But anyway, let me go ahead and get through this this process first. So remembering, because the next one is so important. Is this what I'm talking about now? You got to have a plan. If you don't plan, you plan to fail. But most important, if you don't have a plan, now again, you're reactive. Right? You just react to what's going on. See, there's a such thing called hmm, there's a such thing called unconscious incompetence, right? You or unconscious ignorance. I'm gonna go there. Unconscious ignorance. You don't know what you don't know. Then there's competence ignorance, right? When you hear something and I'm talking about a few things, well, I know about that. I've heard this guy talk about it, but you're still incompetent. Then you have, excuse me, now you have competent ignorance. You know about it, but you still don't know what it is. Then you have unconscious. Did I say unconscious? Unconscious ignorance, conscious ignorance. Then unconscious competence. Okay. Well, I know this will work because I see it. So you maybe you've gotten into some investing. Maybe you learned to put some money aside. You see it growing, but you just see it trickling along. You don't know how to do it effectively, right? Unconscious competence. Then you get into conscious competence. Okay, now I know what it is that I'm supposed to be doing. I consciously know how to put these things together. See, that's the plan. That's where you want to get to, where you plan. And then after plan, there's a O. You have to become an overcomer. That's right. You got to have your plan so embedded in your mind that you're able to cut through those old paths leading to something new and make it huge. Overcoming that situation and what you're in, you got to make it a huge thing. When I say huge, you make it so huge. You want a 20-bedroom house, you want 50 cars, you want 10 businesses. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but I'm just saying that for a dramatic effect, you make it big. Because as they say, if you shoot for the moon, you land amongst the stars. Make it big. I want $500 million in my bank account. Make it big. Because you know what? You can do it if you continue to just listen and understand what these financial tools can do for you. Then there's the S. So we're on purpose, right? Then there's the S. You got to see yourself there. When you go to bed, and stop having these begging prayers. When you pray to your God, God, Jesus, Allah, universe, or whoever you pray to, this is not about a religious study. But just be faithful to what it is that you pray to. But start speaking it into existence. See yourself there. I thank you for the business. I thank you for the huge bank accounts. I thank you for the trust and understanding how to put a trust in place so that at a point in time when I die, my death benefit goes into a trust and I begin to leave a legacy behind. And thank you for showing me how to operate in these various bank accounts that I didn't know about. So we coming, God. We coming with that information. And then E is the last thing. Bottom line, you got to execute. You got to put the plan. You got to, let me go back. You got to put the purpose, the understanding, the remembering, the planning, the overcoming, the seeing, and the execution together to create that mindset so that you can leave an inheritance for your children's children. So let me go through some numbers real quick. So listen, I'm not gonna go real heavy in the numbers like I want to. I have some charts up that I wanted to show you about the S&P 500 though. I really wanted to show you guys what's going on out in the stock market. We had a correction. The market had gone up to 55, almost 5,600, which would have been a record high, right? But Friday it came back down. Was it because of the assassination attempt? Was it because of the president's his conference where he gave his speech before? Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I'm not supposed to be talking about it. Before he decided to step down, the market took a huge dip after that. And it's due for a correction. When we look at the job rates, the jobless rate is up to 4.1%. Inflation is at 3%. So now the Fed is talking about possible 3 rate cuts this year. I mean, I don't feel like they're going to do it in July, in September, and the next possibly October. But for sure, they're talking about 3 rate cuts now. Now, company earnings came out this week. Company earnings weren't as great as they thought they would be. Because well, let me say this differently. Company earnings came out and it stated that a lot of these companies are doing better than what they are because they readjusted the numbers a couple weeks ago. So the benchmarks were pulled back so that when the earnings came up, it appeared that these companies were or are doing better than what they are. Now, we had the big 7 that was actually shoring up the stock market itself, really holding the market up. They saw some downturn. NVIDIA, ChatGPT, the owner of NVIDIA. Okay, they have seen quite a bit sell off. I mean, they were selling at 65 times the cost of the business. 65 times. Would you go buy a house that's 65 times more? It costs you 65 more times than what the house costs. Would you buy a house? Well, people are out there buying this NVIDIA because of that. Listen, you guys that were in the managed funds, you got to keep in mind about a managed fund, and we're not talking about investment advice on this channel. That's something that we have to sit down face to face to talk about. Okay, but a lot of these 401ks, these managed funds, they follow the trends in the market. But the problem with following the trend, they get in when the market has gone and shown that, okay, hey, this is what the trending market is buying. But they get in, they buying high. Everyone knows buy low, sell high, right? Then they hold on to it till it gets too low. Then they sell. Then others buying the other way. But that's managed funds. How you lose 30% of your money just like that. But anyway, so a lot of those stock companies didn't perform like they were supposed to. Tesla numbers came back better than what they thought as well. But when Chipotle even did better. Now, a couple of weeks ago they were talking about Chipotle was going into bankruptcy because of some issues with Chipotle. They came in at 0.34, which was green on the earnings chart, saying they did better. Now, the mortgage rate is about 6.74 right now, but again, the average cost in the United States for a home is $420,000. I go back to telling you this, that it takes 2 incomes. 2 incomes, and 2 incomes have to be greater than $108,000 to afford this house. So we need to show you how to create some of that wealth. And you guys keep tuning in because I want to show you. I'm gonna give you some ideas on how to make some money as well. If you have the bag, I'm gonna give you some ideas into where you can put your money to help your money grow. But if you don't have the bag, I'm gonna give you some ideas as well. And so I wanted to go over this real quick. But before I do, the economy is at 3%, and they're talking about these rate cuts. They have over $500 billion still left. They're going to be pumping into our economy. So when the election hits, wherever that market is, the day of the election, if you're a stock person or investing, you need to get in because it's going to, the market from the point in time of whoever they put in power, that market is going to continue to go up to the end of the year. You got to keep in mind we're right there, right? We just passed Halloween, which is one of the biggest retail events in the U.S. Then we're going into Thanksgiving and Christmas. So you get opportunity to ride that market up for the end of the year. But I wanted to go into this. Do you know that if you took $5 a day, $50 a week, $200 a month. There's an investment vehicle that you could put it in for your children. 15 days after they're born. This is the $1 million policy. Million dollar baby policy I want to talk to you about. The way that works is grandparents, instead of buying these toys for these kids, because I got tired of buying toys, and then, Christmas Day they broken, or a couple days after they broken. But listen, what happens is you put this $200 in this policy, $2,400 a year. At age 18, you stop, because typically they're going to school, right? Take that $200 and give them some money for food and books and things of that nature. 22, when they graduate school, you're able to pull $75,000 out of that account. Pull $75,000 out of that account to give them a start at life. They pick up that policy at age 23, and they pay for it. Now I'm gonna jump past my notes. I'm gonna get all the way to retirement, because in retirement is age 65, right? Well, it's 70 now, but in this example, it's 65. At age 65, they stop paying for it. Now at 65, they've paid $139,200 over the year. That's how much has been paid into that policy. Now keep in mind, I already got a $75,000 out of it, but at 65, the dollar amount in that policy now is over $1.2 million. But something special has happened at 65. A distribution begins to be paid out yearly, tax-free. Tax-free. $99,000 a year until that 90. You put $139,200 into this financial vehicle. Over $2.5 million potentially if a person lived to be 90 years old. Right now in the U.S., person is dying at male 74 and the female at 82, which I believe that mortality rate needs to be readjusted, because, I'm seeing people live in their 90s now, but making it to 90, from 65 to 90, being able to pull $99,000 a year. Isn't that fantastic? That's better than Social Security. How much you going to have in your 401 at that time? Are you going to be able to pull that out of your 401? 25 years? You going to be able to pull that out of your 401? Where else are you going to get a return on your dollar like that? And this is not an investment. This is a safe vehicle for you. Because when we look at individuals that are 65, we're looking at 54% still working. 36% are dependent on someone else. Wouldn't it be great to be able to get $99,000 a year at 65? Then you have another 5% that have gone on and to meet their maker. Leaving again that death benefit in a trust with certain rules so that money continues to grow, and that have money for the children's children. And we teach that not only to the parent, but to the grandchildren and the great-grandchildren, so it continues to snowball. And then there's only another 5% that have 1.5 million or better to live off of. Well, listen, guys, today it was about mindset. And just take that away with you. You have to reconstruct how you think about wealth. Because whatever it takes to get there, you can get there. There are financial tools out here that the banks have been using forever. Do you know that these companies where you put your 401 that manage your money, do you know that they don't put their money in the stock market? They manage your money and put your money in the stock market where you lose 30%, easily 30%, I have some partners that work on Wall Street. I could bring them up. As a matter of fact, I did an interview with one, and he plainly said, "Yeah, on average, a person loses about 30% when we manage their funds because we don't care if they win or lose because we get paid our management fee." And then we have to keep in mind that those funds are pre-tax dollars in those 401k plans, pre-tax dollars. So if you pull it out before you're 59 and a half, it's going to cost you 40%, 30% in tax, 10% penalty. But then once you're over 59 and a half and you begin to get that distribution, it's going to be taxed at 30%. And what they say, pay me now, pay me later. Well, listen, typically when you're at 65, you're at a high tax bracket. And you don't have those write-offs. You don't have, a lot of times you may not have the interest that you have for your house. You definitely don't have those dependents anymore. So you need to understand about owning your own business. That's something else we're going to talk about. But nevertheless, I'm going to let you guys get out of here. I thank you for just hanging out with me on this Thursday, and I prayerfully hope you'll be with me next week, next Thursday at 8 o'clock, where we continue on this path of unlocking our legacy. And next week, we're going to be talking about Toolset. And if you have anything that you would like to discuss, would like for me to talk about, or even if you would like to participate, DM me, Keith Robertson. And let's have a dialogue and see how we can come together, because it's going to take all of us. And if there's anything that I say up here that you feel is not correct, fact check me. I know what I'm saying is correct. When I get into these numbers, I know what I'm saying is correct. But if you want to have that conversation, we can have that too. But listen, I'm going to be here every week. I don't care if it's 1 or 1 million. I'll be here every week to share this information, because this is my purpose, y'all. This is what I learned walking to that bus. I thank God that I don't have to catch the bus no more. I'm doing okay. But I just want to leave you guys with this knowledge that I have, right? I want to leave my grandkids these thoughts that I have so they can go back and review these films long after I'm gone and see what I'm about. Put God first, and everything else will fall into place. Well, anyway, listen. Again, please like, share, and subscribe. And we're going to be moving in a couple weeks. I do have a channel called Keith Robertson, Personal Fin Coach. Okay, I do have that. That's usually for my clients, but I'm gonna move this telecast over there, and I'm gonna deal more in some finance. Oh, let me tell you this: Coach Yolanda is coming back. For you guys that have been watching my YouTube channel and my Talking Fat YouTube channel, Coach Yolanda, I'm interviewing her this weekend, y'all. She's about to do another trading boot camp. Coach Yolanda is one of my trading coaches. Right, very dynamic, very, very insightful. She makes trading so easy for you. Show you how to go in and pull $200, $300, $400, $500 out of the market, or thousands if you want, every day, and how to do it systematically. See, again, we're here to teach you about legacy wealth. But my name is Keith Robertson. I am your PFC, your personal fin coach. I look forward to talking with you next week. Thank you for tuning in. Peace and blessings.